Hey, it's JP. What's good in the hood? What's going on? Today, we about to talk about baby Emmanuel's parents. They locked them up. Both of them. They locked up right now. We'll see what the charges are, but as far as we know today, locked up. Maybe we'll dive into the charges right now. We got another sad story. Sheylla Gutierrez, Sheylla Cabrera, whatever, however you want, however you want to say it. She her husband apparently, yeah, wild story. Tom Alexandrovich, yes, that's a whole different story, and just a little comedic, kind of not. McDonald's manager. Just sometime while I'm doing it, just go ahead, go to X and search McDonald's manager, and y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna play the video, so let's get into this. So yeah, baby Emmanuel, Cairo, parents, Vanessa and Jake. Hold on, let me get his name right. I believe that's it. But yes, they are locked up. They're in jail right now. And this is the story. I don't know if you guys remember it or if you heard it already, but the lady, she had some story where they're at a football game, and I guess they're from Cabazon, but they're actually in Ukaipa right now when this story is playing out, right? So they're at some football game in Ukaipa, and her son needs a mouthpiece, so she goes to the Big Five to go get a mouthpiece, but then she realizes the baby's diaper is dirty, and this is not Vanessa. It's not Vanessa. Rebecca. Sorry. We'll get into that later, but why I mixed that up. So she goes to change the diaper, and yes, it is Rebecca and Jake. She goes and change the diaper, and then she gets hit from behind. She hears someone say "Hola," and she gets hit from behind, and that's all she remembers. She wakes up, the baby's gone. She searches around the car, baby's not around there. She goes into the Big Five, asks them, see if they seen the baby. They said no. Um, People are questioning why wasn't the first thing she do call the cops? You know what I mean? Like why she trying to lay the groundwork? I don't know. But that was the story as we knew it. Then more facts came out. The first shocking thing, I guess, the officials, whoever is investigating on this, the investigators, were already on to this early on, and like they normally do, they sometimes withhold that information from the public. So it all started out when they questioned her, and they questioned her about some inconsistencies in her story, maybe because they had some sort of video evidence of something, right? Or maybe some witnesses or somebody like that. And then she refused to speak to police, and they're actually, so her son is missing, their son is missing, and they're not communicating with the police, not cooperating, not communicating, hiding out from the police low key. So fast forward, everybody's suspicious. We hearing stories that she was seen at the Waterman discount mall with a big black eye, and this was before the baby was reported missing. It didn't take the investigators but a day to start to unravel the story, to figure out that it wasn't all what she said at the beginning. And to that point, like, what was the real story? And I think that's what everybody want to know, and they want to know, where is baby Emmanuel? you know so I mean, good that not innocent until proven guilty, right? So, but good that they have a suspect, and I hope that maybe it's not the case. That her parents would do that. His parents would play a role in something like that. But unfortunately, the history of the husband, Alex Harrow, um, kind of tells you, if Rebecca would have known, would this even happen, got this far? You know what I mean? Did she know, right? Because in his previous relationship with then Vanessa Harrow, Um, there's affidavit reports of him and her actually taking their daughter from it. This is a different relationship, to the hospital, and the daughter had very yeah, it had some serious injuries. You would say broken leg, brain hemorrhage, skull fracture, acute rib fractures. Um, and this is a 10-week-year-old infant. Okay, so this is 10-week-year-old infant, and dang, that just sunk in. That's sad. Um, but yeah, 10-week-year-old infant, and getting taken to the hospital with these kind of injuries, right? That's just wild off the back. So apparently he was able to get out on this one because he only served 100, 200, 120 days community service for that. Um, I don't, maybe their story stuck, but apparently if he pled guilty to willfully, cruelty to a child, willful cruelty to a child. So, that's kind of serious. Um, a baby, an infant, what I mean, broken bones, serious. So I'm sure that's what led to her, him and Vanessa maybe separating. When that happened, and if it was a 180 days work release program and probation, that's what he got on her. So I was saying maybe if Vanessa would have told Rebecca, or did Rebecca already know his history, right? So obviously, and they got him in Cabazon. That's over there. If you don't know where Cabazon is, it's by Palm Springs, Morongo Casino. It's over. Yeah, Palm Springs. That'd be the biggest city, close to Cabazon. Um, hot. It's hot out there right now. Really hot. So, yeah. Um, exactly. If they would have known, if she would have known, it would this even been a problem. He kind of got her into this. I'm not trying to say she the victim, but she should have said something when she got the black eye, and maybe she's under threat and she ain't flipped yet. You know what I mean? And we'll see how fast she flip, or do she flip, or will she flip, or she's in on this 100%. She can't flip, and we'll see how that plays out, especially in the courts. If, like I said, if they are guilty of this with that allegedly, because they've been charged. It hasn't been we haven't seen any evidence. We don't know nothing. We just know the story sounds suspicious, right? So moving on to Sheylla Gutierrez Cabrera. Um, this story is a little. I suggest you guys, meanwhile, just go search her name. Sheylla has a Seyll or two L's, A. Cabrera, it'll pull up easier on that, but I believe her family refers to her as Sheylla Gutierrez. So just out of respect to that, we'll just do that. But yeah, if you go search it up. That's, the story's crazy. I'll tell you about it. But if you want to see the video I'm about to refer to, it's crazy. So initially, I heard that hold on one second. Yeah, so I'm back. Yeah, look at the video. So yes, it all began allegedly from she was missing, and he had said that she was snatched by ICE. And this is all just hearsay. I'm not sure if this is verified, but that's the story, right? So during this time, he had, in between that and then whenever it happened, he had apparently had to move the body from the house, and it was actually, dropped off in the Angeles forest, just thrown off the hill or something like that, right? This is all very foul. But he may have, excuse me, then he left off to Peru. Okay? So he could have got away with this. But unfortunately for him, he lived in an apartment complex, and one of his neighbors had a Ring camera, and they caught him dragging his wife's body across the floor, or like struggling too, low key, like having to do like circles just to kind of get the momentum to move her through the little neighborhood of the apartments, it's the sidewalks, whatever you call the walkways, the public areas, and I guess into his car. But just the video, the sight of that, and the police didn't have to do much, but look at see who had cameras, right, and get lucky, I guess. But everybody has them, like especially if you live in apartment complexes, everybody's taking deliveries. They want to see who's still in their deliveries. You want to see if someone's still in deliveries. They want to be just a threat to someone who may steal your deliveries. So you see it all the time in apartments. So this actually caught Mr. Josimar Cabrera on camera, but he had already fled to Peru. Apparently, from what I hear, Peru did pick him up. I don't know if he's released or if he's out on, he's free or not. If they got extradited back here, but I heard that he's free. But the video I've seen, he was getting arrested. So I haven't seen anything or read a story that he was actually free, right? Like legitimate. But the fact is that he actually did some real grimy stuff, and it's real foul. What I mean? Like, however it went down, and just people being in abusive relationships and not knowing how to get out of it, and then the father of the children, three kids. He left with three kids to Peru. He didn't just leave the kids behind. He took the three kids to return to the homeland. So, like, I don't know their immigration status. If I just know they're from Peru. So it's just kind of wild. That's just a wild story. I suggest y'all go check that video out if y'all, if y'all up to it. But you'll just see how it just looked like he just looked like a weak man. Just everything he did would just seem weak. You know what I mean? And you see what I'm talking about. He's just struggling, and like, I'm not trying to say like he should have been lifting her up, like he should have even did none of that. But the fact that he's doing all that, he can't even, like, he couldn't even hold her, lift her up if she needed him to help. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of crazy to me that he's that weak. Like he felt like he had to do that to her, right? Because she's probably stronger than him. You know what I mean? But moving on, Tom Alexandrovich. This is a story that's kind of frustrating or not. You know what I mean? It all depends on how you look at things. You see people getting away with stuff all the time. But Tom Alexandrovich, an Israeli official, right? He gets caught up in a sting with, I believe, 8 other people in Las Vegas. This is last week. And I think the other prominent person was an American pastor that was in on it too. So they get caught up in the sting. And this is the cyber chief in Israel or something like that. I don't know. He's up there. He does work with the government, or he's in the government. I don't know exactly. I'm just not so. But so apparently they get locked up. They get caught up in it. He doesn't even get locked up. He doesn't get charging documents. He's back in Israel before they even have charging documents. So he never seen a judge. He never seen nothing. And, people are like, what's going on with that? They thinking Trump said something, or maybe, it had to have been somebody. But, the word on the street is the Secretary of State did play a role in getting this guy to Israel so quick after getting caught in the sting. Then you find out about the judges. So, the attorneys and the attorneys, not the judge. I'm not sure about the judge. I don't know their name yet. But the U.S. attorney, which is the federal attorney, they deferred the case to the state. The state attorney then, made these moves and allowed this to happen so he can get out the country so quick. A lot of people were mad at the U.S. attorney for, I don't know, just not like I don't know how to command work, but you think if a non-citizen, a foreign person is caught up in a sting, you think it'd be federal, right? I don't know. State, you gonna charge him for the state crime? You think there'd be some sort of federal charges just because he's not from the country, right? So they deferred it down to the state, and then you come to find out the lawyer of Tom Alexandrovich actually donated, actually was awarded a prize from the state attorney, or no, just he was awarded the prize, I guess from some Israeli peace prize or something like that. I don't know, but he had donated like tens of thousands of dollars to the attorney in multiple occasions. So this is the state attorney who's fighting the case against the lawyer has received tens of thousands of dollars from the lawyer. You get that right. It don't make like, it's crazy, right? It's kind of crazy that the fact that the person he paid him like they going against each other, they friends, you know. So like why wouldn't the state attorney just go easy on this guy and let him off? Like he's in Israel right now. He has a court date coming on the 27th, which he has said he's showing up. He's going to fight this case. Headline in Newsweek: Israeli official arrested in child pred sting will fight charge from attorney. But and the attorney's name was so let's just get the Tom Alexandrovich. He's 38. He's a senior official for Israel's National Cyber Directorate. And he was arrested on August 6th. So that was he got arrested a couple weeks ago. He got out on bail with no apparent conditions a day after his arrest. Initially, Israel put out a statement, or got to their news that he didn't even get arrested. They said he was just questioned about something else. So you can already tell the propaganda was trying to control the stream of information from the get on this one. The Chesnoff is his lawyer. So Chesnoff and the name of the state attorney is Morrow, I believe. But yeah, so he goes into he gets locked up in jail, and he's ready to fight the case. He's gonna come back. He did or did not get locked. I don't even know if he got locked up in jail. Either way, they had him for a day. Let's just say that. And I think everybody else in the sting. Like there was a point where everybody else had charging documents, and he was on, except for Tom Alexandrovich. So they were trying to hide it. It's Steve Wolfson. That's the Clark County District Attorney. Okay. So the Clark County District Attorney, Steve Wolfson, he has taken money from Mr. Chesnoff, right? And that's the lawyer for Tom Alexandrovich is Chesnoff. So then you got for charging them, trying to put him in jail, is the guy who received money from his lawyer, from Tom's lawyer. And it's just a crazy circle. So I don't think nothing's going to come up out of this. I don't even know if he's going to ever come back to the USA. He may never have to, because Israel won't. I believe it's like law that they can't extradite him. Like Israel will not extradite him. It's their law, regardless what crime. So a lot of criminals, like with Israeli dual citizenship, they flee to Israel and they cannot get extradited. It's against. We'd have to go to war. We'd have to literally go to war with them to extradite them back. So that's Tom right there. He, we'll see how that plays out, but we kind of know how it's gonna play out. Maybe just get dust under the rug and we'll forget about it. We'll follow up on it, but he's nothing's gonna happen to him. So why even do it? Last but not least, the McDonald's manager. I suggest y'all go, if y'all haven't already, just go search that up in X or something like that and find it. Find the video. It's crazy. The manager, allegedly has taken some loads or something. She's nodding off. She practically sleep, right? She practically sleep on the job. I don't know where the employees are. I can't tell who's not the employee or not. I can only imagine that if I was in the store, if I was working for my manager, and the manager started nodding off, I could only imagine that I would probably leave at that point, because I'm not trying to run the store. So I'm assuming that the employees left, okay? Because there's people behind the counter making their own food. The narrator's telling people, like, hey, we make our own food. We helping her out. Kind of pointing out, like, what you lost you about to get fired for this. So it's a very interesting video, and yeah, don't do drugs, and it's a very interesting video. You'll see it. You know what I mean? It's not. I don't think it's too shocking. It kind of seems kind of normal because it's kind of stuff you see on the street all the time. But you don't see the manager of the McDonald's like on the street. She could have been asleep. She could have been tired, but she was standing up. She had a chair right under her, and she was standing up. So I don't know why she was standing up if she was tired and asleep. But it was bad. She was drooling on herself. The narrator was maybe making it a little worse by commentating on it, but you see the people running around making their own food. He's talking about he got his food, he's gonna make something else. Like they not go who gonna ring you up? You know what I mean? So how is this stealing? I'm hungry, and she sleep. People are saying someone should have called the ambulance, emergency. You know what I mean? Gave her some Narcan if that's the case, but we don't know. So go ahead, check the video out. It's kind of funny, but yeah, let's just wrap this one up. It's all good in the hood. Y'all like, subscribe, follow, all that, and we're gonna dive into the next topics when the next topics come out. Y'all take care.